collaboration, I ask all sectors, institutions, municipalities, and regional governors to work in collaboration with the Higher Education Ministry to implement the program proposed in this regard. A national committee comprising the Ministries of Higher Education, Basic and Secondary Education, Finance and Economic Affairs, Information and Communication Technology, Energy, and of course the University of the Gambia will lead this commemoration under the chairmanship of the Minister of Higher Education, to be assisted by the Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia as Vice Chairman. To complement this, we will engage ourselves more vigorously in wealth creation through innovative entrepreneurship, skills acquisition, development and application, as well as knowledge generation and innovation. The education system will be made more responsive to these challenges and will design forward-looking programs that anticipate challenges and produce quality scholars, graduates and leaders that are critical enough to search for and proffer solutions, not students who create problems and challenges that deter development. In a nutshell, we don't need antisocial, anti-progress, egocentric graduates and leaders who think of nothing but themselves. My government will ensure that quality, relevant and robust curricula are developed and grounded deep into the realities of the Gambian people and the global socio-economic milieu. These educational programs will be made effective in tapping positively the value, energy, and potential that repose in the youth of this country. The scope, depth, and degree of participation in national development by the youth and women in particular will be amplified to accommodate their effective contribution to the construction of the economic superpower we all yearn for. Essentially, therefore, new thinking and new ways of doing things should guide not only our educational institutions, but also how we operate in the workplace, the home, and in the wider community. To put it bluntly, only great personal sacrifice by all of us, Gambians, can quickly bring about the economic power status. Ladies and gentlemen, the completion of the University of the Gambia campus in Faraba Banta and the operations of both the Kanila Institute of Science and Technology and the ultra-modern Ndemban Skills Training Center during these 5 years will bolster efforts geared towards the attainment of our vision and lofty ideals. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the current illiteracy rates are admissibly unacceptable and have to be lowered to the barest minimum until illiteracy is totally eliminated from the Gambia. Our definition of literacy will from now on transcend the ability to read and write only. It will encompass functionality characterized by general awareness of contemporary issues and ability to make informed choices as demonstrated during the last presidential elections. The revision of the current education policy 2004 to 2015 will be complete in 2012, and the centralized teacher training approaches will be introduced at strategic centers in the country and intensified progressively to ensure that adequate quality teachers are provided at various levels of the basic and secondary education sectors. While we continue to take pride in the enrollment and parity rates registered at the basic education level, efforts will have to be stepped up in order that no child is deprived of the right to quality education and therefore the right to equal opportunity to compete in the world of work and to lead a useful and comfortable life. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to translate Vision 2020 into the reality of the Gambia becoming an economic superpower, we must ensure that all our development efforts are firmly underpinned by a sound, efficient, and effective justice delivery system. Thus, our laws in the areas of public finance, development, trade, and commerce need to be continually fine-tuned to reflect the realities of international trade and investment of the 21st century. To this end, my government has, in recent times, enacted laws aimed at not only boosting investor confidence, but also creating a level playing field for development. However, the mere promulgation of appropriate laws does not necessarily create the environment conducive to the transformation of the Gambia into an economic superpower. Investors, both Gambian and non-Gambian alike, need to be reassured that our laws are adhered to and implemented with easy recourse to the courts for speedy dispensation of justice being assured. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow Gambians, we should endeavor to protect the nation as we make progress. Therefore, the security services will be boosted and we'll have to work with the citizenry to secure our borders and all within. Fellow Gambians, we are all aware of some of the attendant vices of economic growth, such as money laundering, environmental degradation, forced labor and trafficking in persons, and drugs, to name a few. These are inimical to sustained economic development and will never be tolerated by my government. We have promulgated the necessary legislation and established the relevant institutions, but a characteristic common to all laws is that their effective enforcement depends on every one of us, not only the law enforcement agencies. We must unite as patriotic Gambian citizens and work with our law enforcement institutions and agencies to cleanse all potential breeding grounds for criminals once and for all. Crime has no place in the Gambia. The Gambia belongs to all of us, irrespective of our political or other affiliations. Accordingly, all Gambians, young and old alike, owe the solemn duty to the nation of making the Gambia a shining example to the world of how a small country, through the hard work, honesty, patriotism, and the determination of its people, can be transformed into an economic superpower. All that is needed is the collective will to act, and more importantly, the blessings of the Almighty Allah. As the saying goes, where there is a will, there is always a way. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate my commitment to universal access